team is working out at 3 p.m. We'll have access before. And then on Thursday, the team is working out at 2 p.m. We'll have access before, and we'll send out an email with all that information shortly. Okay. Start with Johnny on the left.
Yes, Harris, how did Sale go through yesterday, and what's his condition?
No, he actually threw a flat ground yesterday. He's going to throw a bullpen inside today. With the conditions out there, it makes no sense for him to go out there to throw it. We're actually using our cage and the visitor's cage today, so he'll go through that, and he'll be in line to pitch on Friday.
Alex, how do you plan on using these days to get ready, full board, everyone ready to go for game one?
Well, today we'll hit, like I said, the luxury of having a visitor's cage, with our facilities, we only have one. So we won't hit outside. Pitchers are playing catch now out there. We'll try to stay away from catching ground, taking ground balls because of the conditions. Tomorrow, it'll be a heavier day. There's some live EP going on. There's a few guys that, we'll throw to them. Guys that, they'll be in the roster, others that probably won't be. And we'll line it up with that. And then on Thursday, we'll have the same thing. A few guys throwing live EP. And be ready for Friday.
Alex, will you be watching tomorrow's game with the team? Will we make an effort to watch it together?
We actually we're gonna meet as a team. The plan is not actually. There's gonna be a few TVs, of course. We're all baseball fans, and we wanna watch the game. But it's more like the thing we did in Tampa before the season started. Have everybody together and actually talk about the regular season and turn the page and be ready for Friday. That's tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow. Tomorrow after the workout.
Alex, can you talk a little bit about the benefits, having had it last year, of home field? The last 2 years, this team opened on the road, didn't start well. It's sort of obvious how important it is to be home, but what kind of boost can a team get from opening here and then having home field throughout?
If you ask every team out there, that's what they wanted from the get-go, have home field advantage throughout the playoff, and we accomplished that. It's always good to honestly, and it's not that we stay in bad places, but it's always good to sleep at home, keep your routine, although it's going to be a little bit different. I think those are the benefits. Also, playing at Fenway, you see the home record that we have. It's not that we have a team conducive for Fenway, because we do a lot of good things offensively besides hitting home runs. But to come here, and that's not a comfortable clubhouse over there. I know that for a fact, so that's an advantage. Although the guys do an outstanding job, but there's a few things here. It's home for us. You don't have to worry about family buses or tickets. Jack has done an outstanding job throughout the week to set up that, and it's always good to have that last at bat if you're down. No doubt about it. We went through it last year, starting off fast against the Red Sox, and then coming back against the Yankees, and then we had to, we went up 3-2, with that game 5. So although it wasn't home field advantage, but it was good to have those games there too. 2-2 series, and we play there. So I don't know. I love it. I love it here. The atmosphere, it should be loud and fun, and we'll take advantage of it.
Also, it looks like some guys have left and cleaned out lockers. Do you have guys going to Fort Myers to sort of be a taxi squad for you, or?
Yeah, right now Lynn and Sam and Robbie, they flew to Fort Myers yesterday, I want to say, just to keep getting their swings and their repetitions. We still have to make a decision, as far decisions as far as the roster. We'll wait probably until the last out is made on tomorrow to make those, and probably we'll send a few more guys on there.
Yes, can you talk about Ryan and his development this year, being an unemployed pitcher to being a key member of this postseason roster?
It's a great story. You know, he went from being the closer in spring training to being one of the most important guys in our bullpen. Testament to him. You know, he went to Japan and he sent that email to all 30 teams, and now he's going to pitch in the postseason. He's done an outstanding job for us. He caught our eyes in spring training. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure it was a game. It was a night game in against the Twins at their complex that he came in, and you see the radar gone. It was like 98, and we kept bringing him in, and he kept getting people out, and then in AAA he did an outstanding job, and he's been great for us. Good fastball, good slider, threw more splitters against the Yankees the last outing. It's a guy that can come in with men in scoring position or on a clean inning. He can go multiple innings. He's done it throughout the season, so he's a guy we rely on.
Alex, in your conversations with Chris and Dana, how much has he made progress with some of those mechanical issues he's dealing with?
He feels better. He feels better, Dave. I mean, obviously he's going to throw in a little bit the bullpen, but yesterday was good. It's something that honestly is not a huge adjustment. I'm glad that he saw it firsthand, and it should be easy to fix. He'll go through it today. They have all the cool stuff out there in there as far as like TrackMan and video, so we can compare with the information that we have in hand, and hopefully it's close to what we want or the way we want it, and then he'll get an extension on Friday and see where we go.
You talked about him throwing a quote-unquote aggressive bullpen at some point. Is that going to be any different now that it's closer to the start?
Maybe, but with him, I think the effort will be there, but obviously now that it's more mechanical than anything else, probably that will be what we want from him, just to make sure he's sound as far as mechanics, because we do feel that if the mechanics are close or perfect, velocity will come with it.
So it's not like trying to get him to a certain number of pitches or anything like that?
No. He's fine with it. He's fine where he's at. He got 92, kind of like towards the end of spring training. Although he was actually closer, he started against the Cubs, not the Astros, and then the start against the Rays, but he only threw, I think, like 20 pitches in that first inning before he got hit, and he was fine for game one.
Is there anybody at this point you've told them, they're not on the roster and they've headed home or anything like that? Or?
Yeah, I actually talked to a few today, Hector and BJ. They're gonna stay with us. They gotta go through, keep staying in shape and throwing the ball, because you never know what can happen. But I talked to him today.
Is Phillips gone as well, or?
Yeah, well, Brandon too. Yeah, Brandon is gone. Yeah, we talked to him yesterday, and he went home.
Here on the left.
Yeah, hi Alex. I have a colleague who went over here.
Yeah.
I have a colleague who went down to Caguas to talk to people about you. There's just tremendous pride, and I just want to know, what's your reaction to that? How does that make you feel? And is there any added pressure that you represent a lot of their hopes and dreams?
No, you know what? I'm glad you brought up the pressure thing, because my brother was the one that reminded me this. Like those 2 years when I managed winter ball, that was tough. I was the GM and the manager, and we don't get too many fans, and most of the fans that are in the stands, they know me, and they will let me know why like you should have run there or bring this guy. And although there were good seasons, but personally it was tough. That's a team I grew up watching, and I played for them, and then I'm the GM and I'm the manager, and there were a lot of things going on, and probably that's why I didn't enjoy it. And I made a point after that, those 2 years, which for me they were huge in my preparation to become a big league manager, that I was gonna have fun with it. That when the game is over, you gotta be a dad, you gotta be a brother, you gotta be a husband. You gotta be an uncle. And those 2 years I didn't do that. It wasn't fun. It wasn't fun at all. And now it's fun. I learned a lot those 2 years. As far as the pressure down there, I know there's a lot of Yankee fans in that town, but they're proud of me. I know they are, and like I said, I'm proud of them. It should be fun this weekend. The whole family's coming in on Friday. It's all set up. Joey's actually coming, so that's exciting. You know, having a guy that can second guess me the whole weekend. But to have them around is gonna be great. It's gonna be great, and you know, like I said, there's a great platform for me, and you know, I know they're very proud of what I'm doing.
Alex, ¿qué tan difícil fue para ti seleccionar a Crisel de primer abridor, a sabiendo de que en septiembre lanzó muy poco y teniendo un David Price que realmente ha lanzado muy bien de la segunda parte para acá?
Sí, no fue difícil porque si te pones a ver el itinerario, el lanzador que tiene el juego número 1 tiene un día extra de descanso para el juego 5, el que tira número 2 tira en descanso regular en el juego 5. Y a sabiendas que podíamos hacer eso y con la experiencia que tuvo David como relevista el año pasado, pues se me hizo fácil. El plan estuvo ahí, todo el septiembre. Pudimos hacer que Chris tirara 92, 93 pitches en su última salida. La velocidad no estuvo ahí, pero las repeticiones estuvieron ahí y nos sentimos cómodos con la decisión.
En el caso de Núñez, ¿piensa que va a jugar segunda o tercera? ¿Cómo lo va a utilizar?
No, en ese caso todos ellos van a ser bien importantes. Brock, Ian, Rafi y Núñez. Y sabemos que, bueno, todavía no sabemos con quién vamos a jugar. Y hay un equipo que va a tener abridores, el otro equipo no va a tener abridores. Y a lo mejor dos, quién sabe. Así que nos iremos con quien nos sentamos cómodos temprano del juego, pero a sabiendas de que vamos a utilizar todo el banco a través del juego y todos ellos saben hacerlo también viniendo del banco.
I know you had mentioned the starters for the first 3 games, but did you have a chance to talk to Rodriguez or Evaldi about their roles or starting or relieving or what you might do with them?
Yeah, we still talking about Oakland. There's a lot of guys there with reverse splits. The number 1 guy is Davis. But at the same time, they got new guys playing, Laureano, Martini, who's lefty, but if he doesn't play, they can match up. So I do feel that if it's New York, Nate will pitch game 4. We're pretty sure. I don't want to say 100%, but it's getting close to that. He'll be in the bullpen for game 1 if that's the case. With the A's, we still digging information. We're getting close to what we want to do against them. Don't get me wrong. It's not like we've been lazy or just hanging out, but it's different. It's a team that I know we played them early, and you guys know how I feel about them. But it's a different team now, and we still have to make decisions about that.
Alex, there's obviously a lot of scrutiny, I think, on your bullpen here in the postseason, but I wanted to ask you, do you feel pressure? How much pressure do you feel to push the right buttons and mix and match and put those guys in a position to succeed?
Nah, I mean, I don't feel pressure. I actually enjoyed it. We'll see Friday when I get here how nervous or anxious I'm going to be. But, I mean, we prepared the whole season for this, and we know where we're going to go. We know the matches that we want, that we like, and our team is different than others. You know, our teams are not like the Rays or even the A's. You know, we know what we need from our starters and go from there. You know, just like the Yankees. Although tomorrow might be different, it sounds like, you know, but you know, they rely on the starters, and then, you know, they go to the bullpen. So we feel the same way, and I do feel that we have matchups that we can exploit. You know, we got different guys in the bullpen that, you know, like they have fastball slider, fastball curveball, fastball changeup, and you know, there's a lot of digging right now, looking at matchups. We play one team 19 times, so we should know what we want to do against him. But the other team, we're trying to figure out how we're going to match up with, and we go from there. But no, I don't feel pressure.
And just quickly, how much do you feel like you benefited from watching AJ last year, being there, being part of those decisions? That was sort of a non-traditional bullpen for a World Series winner.
Yeah, I mean, like I said before, I've been saying it for 2 months. It's not that we map it up that way, you know. In a perfect world, it was Davinsky and Harris and Giles, but also it didn't work out, and we went to Plan B and C and D, and also in Charlie's in the mountain on Game 7. But learned a lot. Learned that you have to rely on information. It's very important. It's not that it's scripted, but you have a pretty good idea which matchups you want to exploit, and who's facing who in certain spots. So learned that from him and the organization.
Alex, how did you prepare yourself maybe to have some of those conversations toward the back end of the roster in terms of guys you were going to take and guys you were going to leave off the first month?
No, I mean, we actually met before the game on Sunday to talk to the group about tickets and traveling plans and all the cool stuff that comes with it. And Dave actually mentioned that, although everybody's in here, all the guys were in there, but there's going to be tough decisions. But at the end, it's the rules of the tournament. It's 25 guys, and people have to understand that it is part of the equation. And even if you're not on the roster, you got a job to do. Either going to Fort Myers to prepare or stay here and stay in shape. But you can help. Just like Pedro is doing right now. Looking for tendencies. You might dominate a guy, and your information will be very important for the guy that makes the roster to get him out. So not being in the roster, I know for some guys it's frustrating, but I lived through it last year too. I think it was Clipper who we didn't put him in the roster. Mike Fires, he wasn't on the roster. Veteran guys that contribute, but it is what it is, and they were still there and they helped us out. It's very similar. It's very similar. Probably one decision, maybe two. That's it. Yeah. And it's in the pitching side of it.
Alex, in your opinion, what's different about playoff baseball, and why are you so confident, or how confident are you your team's going to play their best baseball at the right time of year?
I mean, if I don't feel that way, then they won't feel that way. It's something that I learned throughout the years. In 07 here, we felt that we were going into a situation that it was going to be perfect, and it was far from it. But we felt that we had a shot. And all of a sudden we were 3-1, against Cleveland. Last year, we went into the playoffs very confident. Young players that they went through it 2 years before that, and the Royals, they crushed their hearts in Game 5, I want to say, when they gave it up, and then they went to Kansas City and it was over, or 4, whatever it was. And there were some guys that were going into the playoffs last year that they struggled throughout their career, but it was a confident bunch. And you start looking at these guys and the way they're, like today is a perfect example. It's business as usual. They're getting ready for a playoff series. They're gonna do what they feel they have to do to prepare for Friday, and it's been a great day here in the clubhouse. That's why I feel that we're gonna be fine. Nothing's gonna change. Just obviously the spotlight and the stage is a little bigger, but I think we had the spotlight the whole season. People the whole season were looking at us. Either the best team in baseball, or they have to prove that they can beat the good teams, or whatever all that stuff that went through it. It was testing us, and I think we're ready for it.
Is there something you didn't do in the regular season that you sort of have in your back pocket for the playoffs that might surprise us?
Well, hopefully it doesn't surprise you and surprises the opposition.
Well, like a couple of years ago, I don't think they were banking on Andrew Miller coming in as early as he did. You guys did a few things with Houston last year that you said we think we're going to do this. And
yeah, I mean, I don't know. We have a pretty good idea offensively what we're going to do, how we're going to attack it. And as far as the pitching, obviously, with Nate probably in the bullpen early, and Eduardo, we got some flexibility, and we're more versatile than 2 days ago. Well, August 31st. So yeah, I mean, we'll map it out. We'll see where we go, but I mean, it's playoff baseball. It's not that we're gonna panic and like jump the gun and all of a sudden, it's bases loaded, let's take him out. We have guys that can pitch out of jams too. But you just prepare for every possible scenario, even injuries. So.
Along those lines, Kimbrel, you haven't used him a whole lot. Could you see, was that some semblance of saving him a little bit?
We'll see Friday. Yeah, we'll see Friday.
Jason. Alex, with at first base, Moreland hasn't played his best in the second half. You have some other guys who have. How much do you expect to rely on Mitch or look to other options?
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the last 2 weeks, I think Mitch, his on base percentage is like 350, 360, and he's been hitting the ball hard, so that's a good sign. You guys know how I feel about walks, and although the batting average and hitting the ball out of the ballpark hasn't been there for a while, but he's getting on base now, and he's not chasing pitches, so we rely on him just like the other guys. We know that Brock is doing the bat well. We know how Ian is playing second base. How Nunez can help us at third base, just like Rafi. So everybody's in, and we'll see the matchup that benefits us. We got Steve obviously against lefties, some righties too. So it's going to be on a daily basis. We'll make a decision that who we feel that fits, to be the starter better, and at the same time, who can help us out of the bench, and in which situation. So we feel good about that group. They're going to help us out. Yeah.
With Sale, did he get a cortisone shot or an MRI at any point in this process?
I don't know about cortisone shot. We talked about the MRI earlier. After the second one, the second stint in the yeah, he got one. Yeah.
When you see a guy have this kind of velocity, you're talking like he's healthy.
Yeah.
Why are you convinced he's healthy at this point? When you see that kind of velocity drop and the mechanics issue?
Yeah, just talking to him, Evan. And I mentioned it on Sunday or Saturday. Kind of like with him, you tell him 2 innings, 40 pitches, and his thought process is 2 innings, 40 pitches. He forgets about his mechanics, and he wants to get to the repetitions. And same thing with the 4 innings, 60, and then the 6 innings, 90 or 100. Sorry. The fact that when the game was on the line in that last one, and he hit 94 a few times, it wasn't 99, but he went from 88, 89 to 94. I know he's there. And the fact that he came to me right away, after the game was over, and he felt it on the mound, and he saw it on the video. I'm like, okay, this is mechanics. So he's been going through his progress, the right way. There's nothing compared to what he was the first time he went on DL, and then the game after the days after Baltimore. So that's why I'm 100% sure he's healthy and he's gonna be fine.
You talked all year about how important Johnson and Velasquez were to what you guys were doing. How difficult was it today to have that conversation with them?
No, I mean, very difficult. But at the same time, I let them know that they were very important. No chance that we survived. Yeah, we survived pitching wise without them accepting their roles and using them in different roles. And they should be proud of what they did, and they're gonna stay ready. They're gonna be ready if something happens, and our guys that will be in the conversation throughout the month.
Alex, you've addressed this in bits and pieces, but over the years, managers will say, we'd like to keep things similar to the regular season in the postseason. But you know what happens. It's sometimes you don't recognize the manager in the postseason. Would you like to keep things as continuous as possible in the postseason, like without a lot of changes in the way you approach things?
Me personally, or me managing?
Yeah.
That's my goal. I mean, it keeps me in check, honestly. If I get too high, I start thinking about stuff and get too creative out there, and that's not good. I mean, I enjoy the game. I love the game, and sometimes my thoughts are like crazy thoughts. Like we should do this, and like trying to take advantage of stuff that it might be there, but it's probably makes no sense. So I try to be as calm as possible. I think the coaching staff really helps. Ron having experience in the playoffs as a manager is going to help. Obviously, last year was huge for me, but I mean, with our team, the good thing about our team is it's very simple with us. We rely on the starters. We got our guys in the bullpen. We have the lead. We're going to this guy, and then it's Craig. And offensively, that's the cool part about it. That we do a lot of things not out of the ordinary, but different than most teams. It's a Cleveland. Like we run and we hit and run, and we do things that put pressure on the opposition. That might be different than years past. Or I mean, now 15 was aggressive as far as like the Royals. They ran and they did all that stuff. But the difference is that we hit the ball at the ballpark too.
Is that important for the players to see that continuity from you, that, or do they know that you might try something different?
No, I think they know who I am and they know where we at, and whatever we're gonna do in the playoff, they'll know before the series starts how we're gonna attack guys, and don't be caught off guard, you know, in certain things. You know, don't put in a spot that they're like, what is this now? They'll know beforehand what we're gonna do.
Alex, en la pasada edición de los playoffs, principalmente la Serie Mundial, algunos managers no dejaban que sus lanzadores vean una tercera ronda de bateadores. ¿Tú crees que eso se puede ver en esta edición de los playoffs con los Medias Rojas o con algunos equipos de grandes ligas?
No, me imagino que algunos equipos lo harán, incluyéndonos a nosotros a veces, pero yo creo que la estructura de nuestro equipo es diferente en cuanto a los abridores y sinceramente creo que ellos son la parte importante, la espina dorsal de este equipo. Si nuestros abridores nos tiran 6 o 7 entradas, vamos a estar en una muy buena posición.
Okay, thanks everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you guys.